I'm a person just loving being out in the nature. I try to be with peace with earth and make my contribution to that as much as I can. That takes me into long hikes, um, climbing mountains, enjoying all the different animals. I love my dogs. Um, and I like to do that to make sure that that's the real life, since I'm also chair of different companies um, and different kind of companies, a bank, a fashion company, um, yeah, the Triathlon Federation. So I've been fortunate enough to have very diverse every day, although the bank, of course, takes 100%, and then we have some more hours during the day, can do other things. I have a wonderful, cool husband. We have 6 kids together, and yeah, and the dog, of course, that normally follows me everywhere. He's not here right now. I feel a little bit empty. I like to have that soul around me. But I like this spot. This is a cool spot. I was brought up in the different areas in the Mediterranean. So I came to Sweden when I was 6 years old, though my parents are Swedish, but they worked abroad. So I have been lucky to smell and taste and be surrounded by a lot of different culture, a lot of different people. Love that. My father is a true entrepreneur. My mother is an entrepreneur as well, a little bit, maybe smaller scale. Maybe some people can judge, but I think she's absolutely fantastic. A little bit more low key. I have a brother that I adore. Absolutely wonderful. My parents got divorced when I was 13, so I thought everything should be very fair. So my brother, that he's 7 years old younger than I am. Younger, yes, 7 years old younger than I am. So I don't know, he chose to stay with my mother. He was so small still. So of course, to be fair, I stay with my father. So I got grown up when I was 13 years old and walked alone, quite a bit alone since then.
You always also have a spiritual.
Yes, I have a spiritual mother in Maryland, Youngbird, a fantastic Ararica born Native American, a very spiritual, fantastic person, a healer that I enjoy very much. Power can only come from within. When it's true, then you get the power. So don't pretend. Make sure that that you are conscious of who's talking and why you're doing it, and be as whole as you can. Take care of your feminine side and your male side, but be true. Be true to who you really are, because otherwise it won't be any power. Oops. It's so easy to be forced into something. Make sure you know your boundaries. Don't let anyone step on you. And if you don't know exactly with which way to choose, just stop. Just think. Over the night, over two days, doesn't really matter. There's very few decisions you have to decide on the spot. And if you are true to yourself, then your intuition will work, and then even though you have to take a fast decision, then it will come from inside, from your inner you. So breathe. Make sure you know who you are, your characteristics, why you choose different paths, why you react on different things. Try to explore who you are. So we have someone close to us that really grows in their power. Just enjoy that trip you're taking together, because it's a lot about exploring different characteristics. It could be a little bit of power change within. But don't listen to people telling you that a person with power, either if it's a man or a female, doesn't really matter, that this is a way that it always has been or will be. I grew up with a very powerful father, very male in his characteristic as well, very little female characteristic. But he never ever let me know that I couldn't accomplish just whatever I would like to accomplish. So I could just grow from the very beginning in what kind of shape I wanted to grow in, and in what kind of characteristic I wanted to grow in. But it can be challenging. It can be challenging for people around you if you grow in your power, because you will also learn what you think would be good decisions in specific situation. You have, hopefully, a whole holistic view of what is the best decision to take, and someone on your side might not have that. So they see it in one dimension, and if you earn your power, then you have really learned to take everything in, and then with your intuition, you know exactly what it is. Could be difficult to explain. So if you are someone around that, make sure around a person with power, make sure that you understand that the person maybe have a broader view of things in one matter than you have. But always provide with your views. Always provide different aspects of the discussions, because as a leader you need to take everything in and then make a decision after that. I'm the chair of the Triathlon Federation in Sweden, and in the triathlon world we had a Canadian guy that already on the 70s and the 80s made sure that all the governance policies was totally equal. So we race at the same courses, it's the same money price, it's totally equal in our structure. But then in the different part of the triathlon world, of course, every country isn't hasn't come that far yet. In some Asian countries, it's still few women that races. So we try to make communities on how to empower women to do that. So there's a women committee, but this is interesting. Some of the European guys in this, because we are in the committee, or the people that are interested in this committee, we're just as many, male and female. And the European guys, not even the Nordic, they are so frustrated that we call it Women's Committee, because they want to call us Gender Equal Committee. Because we have, and this is the male, that's actually male in gender as well, that they have an issue with this, and they really work together and for that we shouldn't have it as a gender names on it. Cool, I think. We'll see where we get. But in the Nordic country, we're very fortunate that we have come a long way. We have still a long way to go, but it's quite easy compared to other countries, I think, to be a person in power with female characteristic in Sweden, even though you are a male as a gender. I think we more and more appreciate that holistic view of a person than just call it male or female. So even female with male characteristic or male with female characteristic works quite good in empowerment in Sweden. We're not totally there yet, but on our way.